Welcome to today's Explainer. Okay, we are diving into an absolutely mind-bending thought experiment right out of the gate, transforming the driest places on Earth into lush, green landscapes. We're going to break down the incredible science, the massive logistical hurdles, and the deep, kind of scary ecological mysteries behind an idea that honestly sounds like pure science fiction.
Picture this with me. You're looking out over a seemingly endless expanse of dry, cracked sand, a place where the sun just beats down relentlessly and water is pretty much a myth. Now, blink. Suddenly, you're staring at millions of towering trees instead. It's an incredible visual, right? But it forces us to ask a monumental question. What would actually happen if humanity could pull off this colossal transformation? I mean, could we actually do it?
At first glance, planting an endless sea of trees sounds like the ultimate awe-inspiring climate fix. Because hey, more trees mean less carbon, right? Well, actually, completely overriding nature hides some severe and totally unexpected complications. We're not just talking about planting a few seeds in a garden here. We're talking about overriding a massive force of nature.
Let's start with Section 1, the desert as it is, more than just empty sand.
See, the crucial point we often miss is thinking deserts are just empty, lifeless wastelands waiting around to be fixed by us. Yes, they are defined by extreme heat, basically zero rainfall, limited water, and incredibly poor soil swept by harsh winds. Yet, they are ancient, highly adapted environments. The plants and animals living out there possess incredible evolutionary traits just to survive. So to build our forest, we'd be actively replacing a vibrant, perfectly balanced world that already exists. Moving right along to Section 2, building an impossible forest, the mega project. Logistically speaking, we can't exactly just toss a handful of seeds into the dunes and cross our fingers for rain. This staggering plan demands an absolute army of massive desalination plants churning out fresh water from the ocean. Then, we'd have to pump it through continent-spanning artificial irrigation systems. Add in the cost of sourcing billions of specially adapted, drought-resistant trees? It's wild. This demands unimaginable infrastructure and decades of non-stop, incredibly expensive labor just to get the project off the ground.
But let's say we do it. Let's fast forward a bit. Day 1, honestly, it barely looks different. Just tiny, tough patches struggling in the sand. But jump to year 10, and something magical really does happen. The greenery takes hold. Insects and birds return, and these small, fragile little ecosystems begin to form. Fast forward again to year 50, and we have a massive, shaded environment. Large forests actually create a canopy, physically blocking the intense sun and noticeably cooling the local environment. It sounds like a total victory, doesn't it?
But here's the catch. As this miracle forest grows across the desert, we slam right into a massive, unavoidable biological reality. Nature always collects its toll.
They need a lot of water. Maintaining this level of dense, lush vegetation in extreme, relentless heat, it requires an absolutely astronomical, continuous flow of hydration. Trees are incredibly thirsty organisms, especially when baking in the sun.
So we've built the forest. It's huge, it's vibrantly green, and it's chugging millions of gallons a day. You've got to ask yourself the most suspenseful question of this whole explainer. Where does all that water actually come from? Which brings us to Section 3, the water and weather trap, the hidden ecological cost. Okay, so as these billions of trees grow, they undergo a process called transpiration. Basically, transpiration is when plants release water vapor right back into the air. The trees literally sweat. This increases humidity and could actually begin to alter local rainfall. Think about that. Our artificial forest actually begins to hijack and influence its own local weather. Now, hold on. We need to be scientifically realistic here for a second. Yes, we absolutely get a local weather impact, increased humidity, and cooler local temperatures. But this does not equal a global climate impact. Creating a giant artificial forest doesn't automatically cool the entire planet, and no, it does not magically solve the global warming crisis. We've changed one region, not the entire globe. And to keep this amazing local transpiration cycle alive, humans would have to constantly, endlessly pump in water. We literally be draining rivers of their natural flow, causing rapid, catastrophic depletion of our underground aquifers. And if we rely on desalination, the enormous energy consumed just to remove salt from ocean water would be staggering. Essentially, we are trading one massive environmental resource just to fake another. Which forces us to confront a totally devastating scenario. What happens when the pumps run dry? What if our artificial ecosystem literally drinks the entire region dry, leaving behind nothing but a massive, dead forest of our own making? When you break it down like this, the reality hits hard.
We aimed for massive new greenery, but the unexpected consequence is the total loss of native desert habitats. We wanted more carbon storage, but we might accidentally trigger the spread of harmful invasive species. We wanted a cooling local climate, but boom, total disruption of ancient ecosystems. The beautiful benefits we dreamed of are matched entirely by severe, tragic ecological destruction.
So let's look at Section 4, a more realistic future, targeted restoration.
Because in reality, real scientists aren't out there trying to pave the Sahara with pine trees. True restoration is heavily targeted. Step 1, scientists identify specific, naturally degraded areas that genuinely need the help. Step 2, they carefully restore them using native plants that already know how to survive there. And step 3, they use targeted, smart water management systems rather than trying to basically flood a continent. It's all about working with nature rather than against it.
So let's say tomorrow someone invents a limitless, free energy source and infinite fresh water. Just because humanity has the technology to turn an entire desert green, should we actually do it?
The true question isn't just about our technological capability to store carbon or pump water, it's a profound ethical dilemma. Do we have the right to play God and forcefully erase an ancient, beautifully adapted ecosystem forever simply because we humans prefer the look of a forest? Deserts have survived for thousands of years, holding their own delicate balance. Next time you look at a barren landscape, ask yourself if it really needs saving or if it just demands our respect. Thanks for exploring this massive what-if with me today. Keep asking those big questions.